Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Fishing AT, and out somewhere new today. Yes, it's the Chesil Beach, but I'm fishing at West Bexington, which is a new mark for me. First time I've fished here. It's Thursday, the 14th of December. These are actually second casts. I had a conger first cast, which hopefully the video came out of that one. Little tiny conger on ragworm. Getting bites from the off. Both rods have got bites here. I got ragworm on an up and over on the left hand, on the right hand rod. I got a loop rid with squid and rag on the middle rod. Bit ominous when I came into the car park at West Bexington. Young chap in front of me, in the front of the car park, was putting back 2 dogfish. So he clearly had a string of them. But there's quite a few people fishing here actually, which is nice to see. Everybody in front of the car park. Looking out to sea, I've walked, what have I gone? I've gone left. I've only come about 400 or 500 yards just to clear the people really. Well, when I arrived it was really pretty grim. Very heavy drizzle. But per the forecast it's clearing. The sun is breaking through. And it's about 7 or 8 degrees C. There's a little bit of a swell pushing in. We've had a period of southwesterly winds up to Tuesday, then it went sort of northerly, flattened it off, and it's gone southwesterly again today, but it's very light, only 5 mile an hour. And as you can see, the camera picks it out, there's probably 20 or so people fishing in front of the car park there. Nobody past me towards Abbotsbury that I can see, and Abbotsbury is about 3 miles to the east, and we've got Cogden, which is about 1.5 miles to the west. And the forecast is actually just to stay pretty much like today, dry, overcast, and about 7 degrees, dropping down to about 4 degrees tonight. Baits, I dropped into Real Fun Fishing at Port's Head this morning and picked up some blow lug, some rag and some squid. I've also got some frozen blacks, frozen rag and some bluey, and was given some advice by a chap. I didn't get your name, but thanks for the advice about where to come on West Bexington. So someone who watches some of my videos, he was talking to me with a wry smile. Anyway, thanks for the advice. I'm not sure I found that big rock you were talking about. The beach is pretty storm damaged down here. But anyway, I'm fishing. That's the main thing. So even though the wind's been sort of northerly for a day or so, after a period of sustained southwesterlies, as I said, it has flattened the sea out, but there are some rollers coming in. So always just be careful when you're like me, if you're going down to the water's edge to catch the cast, because you need a little bit of that distance. And just be mindful, watch the wave pattern, because not every wave is equal. I don't think it'll show that, but there's plenty of colour in the water. The first 60-70 yards is basically brown, and then it sort of greens off a bit. Probably where it gets a bit deeper, so trying to catch to the edge of that brown stuff. But it's fish by scent, I suppose, and they're picking up the baits no problem. So tide-wise, we've got a low tide at 1 o'clock, which is in an hour and a half time, and we've got high tide at about 7 o'clock tonight. And there's quite big tide actually. We've got about 3.2 meters of tidal difference, so that's a big tide. I've parked myself up well above the high tide line. You can see the high tide line from this morning here. It's actually a smaller tide tonight, so I should be okay where I am. And the plan is, I didn't get a lot of masses of bait. Is to fish probably until about 9, 9:30 tonight. Have a few hours in darkness, 4 hours in darkness, and see what we can winkle out. Just nice to be out at this new venue, albeit on Chesil Beach. Got something on here on the loop rig. Let's have a look, see what it is. Go. First cast dogfish to go along with the first cast. There we are, look typical. The hook pops out straight away. Had a good slackline bite. Let's see what it is. Might be a doggy, I think. I'll have to show this monster to the camera. I can't believe this gave the slackline bite. Anyway, third species of the day. A little bait robin pouting. Anyway, let's see if he survives so we can put him back in. There's a slightly better pouting. He took ragworm on and up and over. It's 4 casts, 4 fish, 2 pouting, a dog and a conger. So it's a busy session, but I have managed to get the drone up in the air, so hopefully a few aerial shots for you there as well. Anyway, let's get this pouting back. He's quite lively. If you're coming here and I don't know, let's say you're worried about mobility on Chesil, it's a very easy beach to fish. It's just easier to walk, as I said earlier, on the finer pebbles. Good parking right on the beach. I had a bit of a faff around trying to pay for my parking today. I wouldn't take my credit card, my debit card. My pay app wouldn't pay either. Even though I got Apple Pay on my phone, that was messing up. So I ended up having to use some coins which I had in the van, fortunately. So it's only £4 for basically a day. So it isn't too bad. So that's given me enough, more than enough parking. But just bear that in mind if you're coming. Even at Abbotsbury, the pay machines, the 2 pay machines there can be a bit temperamental. The reception isn't brilliant. I'm with Vodafone. The reception's okay, phone-wise, but for whatever reason, I just could not get the phone pay app to work. So yeah, but you know, you can just plonk up here, a bit like Abbotsbury, go over the top, as it were. Nobody firing machine guns at you. You've just got to, go over the top of the beach and chuck it out, and I'm sure you'll be in the fish, because, as I say, most people, they're just doing that. They're in front of the car park, very big car park. They obviously don't like motorhomes because most of the bays are marked up no motorhomes. Must be a summer problem. But if you've got a car or van, I think you're going to be okay. It's low water now, 1 o'clock, 10 to 1. So hopefully the walking up and down the beach is a bit tedious. A bit shallower. Obviously the beach doesn't have the sort of maybe the steepness of the Abbotsbury and Ferry Bridge down the bottom there. But yeah, from a ease of fishing, it's okay. It's a bit of an awkward place to get to, West Bexington. I sort of came down via Chard, coming from the north, and I think, I don't know, skirted Bridport. But I'm going to head down to Abbotsbury and go back the way I normally go, because the road was a bit of a faff coming down once you come off the A358, just after the M5 there, where I come down. Other than that, it's just nice to be out. So I'm just going to put out a bigger up and over. I'm fishing 200 gram leads. I'm going to splash down there. I've got sort of a whole small squid and a little chunk of bluey there. And that's on a dongle, a 5/0 circle hook there. And you can see the dongle hook clipped into the splashdown. And that's on a 60-pound pulley, about 4 foot long. I'm just going to put that one out. Well, on that bluey bait, it's only been out 5 minutes and there's something there already. Dogfish, I think. Huh. Wasn't quite a dogfish. A very small conger. Perfectly hooked. So, second conger of the day. They're getting a little bit bigger. But they're not massive, are they? But good fun all the same. I was dealing with bites on the other rod in successive casts, and the loop rig was just out there tapping away. 2 dogs. Anyway, right mess. So here's another double hookup. Dogfish on the top hook. He's taken lugworm. And on the bigger bait on the bottom hook, pouting, has taken the squid bait. So that's on the loop rig again. As well as the up and over and pulley pennel rigs, I'm also using a 2-hook loop rig. And I've had a couple of double hookups so far already in the first couple of hours of fishing. 2 dogs on one cast and a dog and a pout on another. And basically what a loop rig is enables you to clip up 2 baits, but you can have them such that, there's my weight on an imp, and it's actually trapped. This is 80-pound line. I use a single overhand knot just to trap the swivel there, and then it has a trace below the weight, and in that trace it has a one of these little cascade clips, swivels or whatever you want to call them, that the top hook of the trace that I'll show you in a minute clips onto. So this bottom trace is just below the weight when it's unclips, and then above the weight I've got a trace. There's just the used one. So this just sits on a there's a stop knot and a CRT spring, and then obviously a swivel, and then the CRT spring allows that downward pressure to enable you to clip it up, which I'll show in a minute. So when you clip the rig up, it's all nice and neat and tucked behind the lead to give you a nice smooth cast out. So it's a loop rig. Google it. There's loads of good videos that show you how to make it. I just on mine, I don't trap my upper. I've got the CRT swing, a bead, and I actually got 2 stop knots there that I use that I can slide if I have to cut a hook off or something like that. So sometimes you'll see that they'll actually crimp it, or they'll do something else with an overhand knot, maybe not, but I just use two stop knots that I can obviously tighten hard so that it forms a firm fixture, but also not so tight that enables me then to move the trace down if I need to modify my hook length. So the trace that's below the weight, the hook on that clips into the
breakaway in as normal, and then if you hold the trace midway, you see that the cascade swivel, you have it pointing down, and then you clip in the top hook. It's a bit hard, this one's quite long, but you see that there's the top hook, and the cascade is the CRT spring is under tension, and then the hook is clipped into the cascade swivel on the lower line, and there we go, it's there. So you've got a trace that's, so this one is probably when casting is about 6 foot long overall. So you've got the two baits are typically about 2 foot, and at the bottom of the trace. So you have a nice long ledger below the weight, and obviously a paternoster one above the weight. Hope that makes sense.
It's great when you get a whopping slackline bite. You're thinking, oh, I wonder what that could be. All it is, it's just a bigger pouted. Just not quite every chuck on worm bait, but pretty much so. Pouting all the way at the moment. But that was a nice one. It's probably half, 3/4 pound. They say you managed to dislodge a 7-ounce lead. Anyway, let's put him back in. Even with a big bluey dongle bait and squid, the pout, still take it. Oh, that's not a bad pout, about half a pound. Just pouting at the moment, pouting all the way, every cast. Anyway, soon be dark.
4:15. Still pouting pretty much every chuck. No whiting, surprisingly, not one whiting. But over double figure pouting now. 5 or 6 dogs, a couple of congers. So yeah, just see now what happens when we go into dusk. Bigger lugworm than this. Is something other than a pouting. It's obviously well, it's 5:10. 2 hours or so to high water. It's gone pretty quiet actually. The occasional pouting, dogfish, and now this third conger of the trip. Anyway, he can go back in and put another bait out. It's 8:30, half an hour after high tide. I haven't been showing fish I've been catching because it's just been more of the same. Loads of pouting. I've had about 20 odd pouting, about 8 or 9 dogfish and 3 congers. So it's been pretty much the same sort of fish as I was getting during the day. A little bit quieter. A bloke walked past me, said someone up by the car parks had a cod about £10, so that's made somebody's day. So that's good. So I'm last caster out. I'm going to be heading back on a 2-hour drive, and I have to say I've really enjoyed my first trip at West Bexington. Nice easy fishing, certainly easier to walk around on the pebbles compared to Abbotsbury and Ferrybridge. Much easier getting about. And the fishing, plenty of fish, over 20 odd fish, nothing special, but it's just been nice to be out. So thanks again for everybody who's been watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for liking and subscribing. if the weather's good. I know it's sort of neat fish sort of tides next week. I might try and get out on the Bristol Channel again up Cleves and Hornshead way. So fingers crossed for that. Anyway, if you're out fishing this weekend, be safe, tight lines. I'll see you all again soon. Bye now. Bye.